Hello, Cassie. We've got another. So okay, wait. I've got to set the precedence for this. I got the question. I put it up, and Cassie, what was your reaction?
I don't even know what to say about that.
Sometimes we get questions in the workshops that we look at and we go, "What? Uh, this isn't even answerable." I
Yeah,
can't.
I don't even know what to say about this. Let's
Right.
see. I have furs. Can I take some of that money and get physical gold to diversify my furs?
So here's the thing, and Cassie, I know you've seen this, but I see people confusing their furs and their TSP all the time, as in
Well, I
their
was going to
pension
ask
and their furs.
what you're saying in your workshops to confuse them like that. I mean, if this is
Oh,
a question in
ow,
your workshop,
oh,
what are you telling
ow,
these guys?
oh. Oh, I get it. Yeah. No, still, it's amazing because I'll say something. I'll say this is how it works. In fact, I have the pension furs at the beginning, TSP at the end, and so they are totally separated. They cannot be confused, and yet people are still coming back with questions like, "I have furs. Can I diversify that into gold?" And it's whoa. We missed the boat. Now, granted, the person who asked this question, I would not be surprised that they have heard things like this before. They're trying to get clarification because rumors go around like this all the time that are just
Oh,
completely wrong. So I I, I don't want to make it sound like questions are dumb, but well, there is
no,
no
it's
but.
not a dumb question. It's just simply misunderstood, right? So
That's exactly it. Yeah.
let's talk about what FERS is, right? And I think that's what most people need to understand is that your contributions, whether it's CSRS offset, FERS transfer, FERS rate, FERS rate, whatever, your contributions into the federal retirement system, um, or federal employee retirement system, which is what FERS is, or the civil service retirement system, whatever. If you're going to be participating in that program, you're simply giving your money to a pot that the government holds. The
Right.
government is doing whatever investing and hopefully trying to make some money.
Yeah, or borrowing from it to use for something else as well. That
Well,
happens.
they have a lot of pensions to pay out, right? So
Uh-huh.
the idea is that this money goes into this pot of gold, if you will, that the government is holding.
And the federal employee can't touch. You have no influence over what happens to the money. It's in there, and you hope that you get paid out at the end, which everyone does right now, right? I'm not saying that they don't, but you don't you don't have access to it at all.
Right. You don't have access to the money unless you leave service
Right.
and then take a withdrawal or a refund, rather.
Right.
Sorry, it would be
Mhm.
considered a refund of those contributions. And then you can do whatever you want with that money. Go invest it and get physical gold or diversify but you're not going to be able to diversify while you're in well, as an employee and being able to invest. You can do that in the TSP. You can diversify
Right.
whatever, but you cannot do that with your actual what you're contributing to the FERS program because it's a set amount. Like you can't even change the amount that you contribute,
Can I
right?
contribute more to that? Or no. And so really we could take this question and go two different ways. If we went the
Mhm.
FERS way, we could say, I have FERS. Can I use any of that money during my employment? The answer is no, you can't. Then let's switch it to the TSP. I have TSP. Can I take some of that money and get physical gold to diversify my TSP? Well, then the answer is it depends still. That would be a better question. Go
Well,
ahead.
here's the thing. You can't you can't buy physical gold within the TSP, right? You only
Right.
have the five core funds, which are the GF, CS, and I.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those are indexes. However, they did recently open the mutual fund window,
Mm-hmm.
but so you can invest in, another type of option, but you're still not able to get physical gold and diversify. But you can do some investing in there. I don't know what the fund options are, um, but you can diversify as an investment. But it's not going to be physical gold. There might be gold options in there or what have you. But of course, there's other rules and things like that if you want to participate in the mutual fund window. And again, you will then have to contribute your money to go to one of the five core funds or an L fund, and then transfer that money into the mutual fund window to whatever investment mix you have within there. And so it's a little bit of you can't even directly invest to that mutual fund window investment option. And so it's a little bit of a tricky situation there. But as far as your FERS pension is concerned, you're going to contribute an amount into the FERS program. It's a set amount. And at the end of your service time, hopefully you'll receive a pension. If you haven't met certain requirements, then you may not be able to receive a pension or will not be receiving a pension till later. But at some point, if you have at least 5 years within the system and contributing, then you will receive a pension based on those contribution amounts, and times by a percentage factor, and depending on whatever system you're under and your high 3 average of when you had your highest 36 consecutive months within the retirement program. But that's how your pension works. And so unfortunately, the answer is no here.
Right.
But that makes it easy. It's not, it depends.
Right. Actually, the only way it would be, it depends. But then it kind of breaks the whole thing is if you take money from your TSP and then you take it out and then you buy physical gold, you can do that, but it's no longer in your TSP at that point.
It's no longer in your TSP, and it has nothing to do with the FERS.
And it has nothing to do with the FERS. Right.
Retirement contributions that you're actually putting into the government's pension system.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm surprised at how many people confuse the TSP with the FERS program. CSRS, I find those who are CSRS employees don't confuse that. But FERS employees, I don't want to say typically do, but what I've seen is that if anyone confuses it, it's the FERS employees who confuse that. And here's my guess is why. I could be wrong on this, but from what I've seen, when you go to OPM, you see that they call your pension an annuity. Well, there's also a TSP annuity. And that word alone can confuse. That's the same thing then. It's an annuity. No. That's not. That's another subject for another day. But I think that's
yes,
partly,
it is.
I think that's partly why there is the confusion. Is a misunderstanding of words is all.
Well, and I think it's a misuse of words too. Even though, yes, your FERS is an annuity, but it's more of a pension because you pay into a program, and then you'll, have a benefit that for an employer that you work for, you have employer-sponsored benefits. They contribute into this bucket for you as well. And then at the end of your career, you're able to receive money from there. And so it's actually a pension, not an annuity. But annuity is so vague too, right?
Yes.
Like you said, that's a whole other.
That's a catch-all word. Yeah. That's another one. We won't get into that. But I will say, when we do our workshops, when we're doing the webinars, we have 3 hours. And so we're going through things very, very, very quickly. And we cover a ton. When we do the in-person ones, we get to sit down and have more of a conversation, and I get to kind of stretch it out a little bit and really dive in a little bit deeper. And we talk about things like annuities and say, what is an annuity, what isn't, is this an annuity, is this an annuity, and then totally be able to separate FERS from TSP so that there is no doubt as to what they are and how they work. And so there is a difference between the webinar and the in-person one. I love the in-person ones, although I do love the webinar ones for when you just can't take a whole day out to go learn this right now. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. I can
either way,
understand.
come and
It's
join us
probably,
for a webinar or in person at fedpilot.com. Come and join us. Learn a heck of a lot more. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what you'll learn there. Any last words of wisdom there, Cassie?
no, go check Kevin's workshop out, whether it is virtual or in person. He does a phenomenal job of explaining and giving you a base understanding so that way you can move forward with preparing and planning those benefits and how they're going to operate for you and get that base understanding so that way you know what your FERS is going to do and what your TSP is going to do. So go check them.
Yep. Great. Thanks. All right, Cassie. Until next time, take care. Thank you.